Just actually following on from GJ's question, membership is a finite resource in our continent. There are only so many countries in the continent. There are only, realistically speaking, going to be so many ISPs and so many resource people, not only ISPs but mobile operators that a country can actually sustain. Therefore, to rely on new membership is a very dangerous way of doing a budget and relying on income, because each country can only sustain a certain number of players in the market.
Yeah. Yes, unfortunately, well, I mean, at this point in time, our membership base forms part of the bulk of our revenue, right? And we've got existing members, and then we've got potentially new members, which we need to attract. In fact, that's what we're here for. We need to attract more new members. I think it will probably fall into the same response for DJ as well. I think we do have a strategy where we want to try and attract new members, and because when it comes to new members, it's cash, right? Somebody asked that question earlier on. It's a cash before the resources are released. I think at this point in time, I think this is our main source of income, and we need to sort of develop better ways of how we can tap into. I think there's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of it's out there. We can attract more members.
Je vais parler en français. Serge Abelongani, régulateur du Congo-Brazzaville, membre.
Oh, sorry, hold on. There's another question that was not answered. Just pause 1 minute. Sean's question, please answer. Sean, do you want to repeat your question, please?
Yeah, just repeat your question. Sorry.
Yeah, the question was, the reports, can we have them before the meeting? Is it possible? If they're already existing, could you direct me to where I can find them?
You're talking about the audit report?
Yes.
Or the audit report?
Yeah.
I think the audit report, unfortunately, has got to go through the board first, and then it can be made public. And we've only just received it last Friday.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah. Let me just also qualify you on that one. The new board the board has actually instituted that we actually have a change because the current auditor delivered the report late. We're going to institute a change, and there are certain timelines that will happen in future. So let me reassure the membership that in future that is going to happen as you asked.
Okay, thank you. I just need to clarify something from Patrick. When you say it will be made available to public, what does that mean? Does it mean, does the member indicate the public?
No. What I think the chairman just clarified that. There's been some delays in producing the report this time. Otherwise, before this meeting, the report would have been uploaded already.
And previous year reports are published publicly for everyone, not only member.
Yeah.
So if you go to the AF18 website, library, corporate document, you'll see the budget and the previous year audit report.
Oui, donc je disais Serge Abelongani, régulateur du Congo-Brazzaville, membre de la FRINIC. Alors, ma question est, quels sont les mécanismes et les procédures que vous avez mis en place pour recouvrir les impayés, sachant que, même si aujourd'hui ils sont effacés dans votre base, ils sont quand même redevables. Quels sont les mécanismes? Est-ce que, par exemple, pour les membres qui sont à l'extérieur de l'île Maurice, est-ce que vous avez des avocats? Vous avez, je sais pas. Parce c'est des impayés, c'est des redevables. Enfin, est-ce que vous avez mis une politique pour recouvrir ou je trouve que ça reste léger?
We do have a policy with regards to recovering of unpaid fees. The policy is very clear and straightforward, and in fact, it's been reinforced in the current bylaws that's specifically mentioned in there that if a debt remains unpaid in excess of 90 days, they will be subject to closure. So, but before we get to the closure, there is a whole series of reminders, contacts, and we don't just close the member. We actually get in touch with them, and we try as much as possible to get them to pay. Before the closure is actually the last resort.
Maybe to add to that, this is a new situation that we are experimenting at this extent. We have already evaluating that option where we will give those bad debt to a recovery company that will take care of that, because we don't want that to be an additional, because they are already write-off. So we will try to see what are the measures that we can use to still continue to collect them. But in the other hand, some of those organizations have just disappeared. We don't even know where they are anymore. So it requires a lot of work. So we are looking for different possibility, among which using a third party to focus on collecting them, contacting them. The other challenge we have is that we are in Mauritius, and we are covering, and these bad debt are from almost 40 different countries. And getting the right contact, being able to talk to people remotely, it requires a lot of work. So we are going to do that, but try to find out what are all the means that we can have to be able to be successful in collecting those bad debts.
Proceed, please. Thank you. I have no comment on the budget, but I'd like to pray the board to err towards being more open than closing gradually. I think it's okay for non-members to ask questions, for you to answer what you wish, but I think it's not the right spirit for a bottom-up, policy-oriented organization to determine who can ask what question and who cannot ask what question. So that's the only reason to have come here. Thank you very much.
Just sorry, Saul again. Two more questions. And sorry, are you responding or?
Try to respond to.
Thank you for that comment, and we will take in the advice. We will basically the bylaws state that. So I think again we'll take a discussion on with the members, and we can open that to non-members if need be. But I was making sure that we stick by the bylaws. But thank you for the comment.
I might be wrong, but I think this is not the first time that the auditors have been late. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But as a client of the auditors, this meeting was planned quite some time ago. Surely the dates should have been defined by AFRINIC to Ernst & Young that the reports need to be ready in time. And secondly, I'm not quite sure that the answer was actually, the question was actually answered about making up the loss. If members' numbers are dropping from what's budgeted, that means things, I know your predictions for the year are a little bit ahead of target, but if numbers and members are dropping not as predicted, how are you actually going to make up that loss?
Well, when the members' numbers are dropping, we've only got one recourse to adjust our operating cost. This is basically our only choice that we have to adjust to balance the revenue. With regards to the audit report, yes, this has been looked into, and under normal circumstances, the audit report should have been ready at least probably by within the first quarter of the year, and this is being taken up with the auditors, and hopefully this should not happen again in the future. Yeah. And with regard again, coming back to that other question of yours where you mentioned that the revenue members dropping and not materializing, you know, we're not making the numbers of members that we budgeted for, we are going to drop expense budget. This is basically our, you know, the only way to counter that. Yeah.
Merci beaucoup. C'est Ali Hadi de Comore Télécom. Nous savons très bien qu'Afrinic est une association à but non lucratif. Donc, mais on a besoin de l'argent pour le fonctionnement justement de cette structure. Le rapport qui vient d'être présenté ici a montré qu'il y a des membres qui ne sont pas à jour dans leur cotisation. J'ai bien compris. Donc, ma première question, c'est de savoir quelle est la politique que vous avez mise en place justement pour que ces membres puissent justement être à jour dans leur cotisation. Ma deuxième préoccupation, ou bien question, c'est de savoir si une fois l'équipe financière présente justement tous ces problèmes au niveau du conseil d'administration, est-ce que ce problème est résolu dans un sens où on doit faire tout pour que ces membres puissent justement s'acquitter de leur cotisation, ou bien il y a des questions qui se posent pour essayer de comprendre le fondement, le fond réel, qu'est-ce qui pousse justement ces membres de ne pas s'acquitter de leur cotisation. Est-ce que sur le plan fonctionnel, est-ce que ces structures fonctionnent correctement et comment nous pouvons justement aider ces structures à bien se maintenir. Merci.
I think your question is a bit identical to another one which was just asked earlier on. We do have a recovery policy, and members are aware, and even that's also written in the RSA, which they sign. So I think in the past we have been kind of a bit lax with regards to the collection of unpaid debtors. So we are, I think that has already been mentioned, that we are going to be a lot more strict actually by following the policy to the letter and go through the process as it is written, as it exists, and to make sure that the debts are recovered in time.
Okay, thank you, members. We still have another section that Patrice is going to present. Then we'll have a wider Q&A after that. So if you can allow me to continue, I'll ask Patrice to continue to the next section.
Just before Patrick continue with 2013, I think I would like just on the name of Afrinic, the board, and that this is the situation that we have witnessing for the first time. And remember as well that those write-off from the account are not only for 2012. There are also a few write-off for previous year, which the auditor requests us to remove completely from the account because some of those invoices are for organization where we are expecting, you know, to get, and some were not removed. So it is something that we are looking at seriously. The board has spent almost a day in discussing all different measures that can be taken to mitigate this as from now toward the end of the year, to make sure that we are able to recover this, but also we have a proper mechanism in place to follow the evolution of the income versus the expenses more specifically. So it is something that is going to change a few things, that's the way we do it, and we will be able to report back to the member in coming meeting. Thank you.
Okay, my next presentation is based on the financial status for the current year, which is 2013, since our financial year started from January. So this will give you a rough idea where we are in the first 6 months of the year. So typically, the first part of the year is generally devoted to, it's a normally quiet first part of a year. So there's very few activities that takes place. Staff, teams that spend the first part of the first quarter to put in place the various activity plans on which the budget is based, and to allocate priorities and all that. So this took the first part of of the year, and obviously the slow start is reflected in the cost as well. Our major activity, as far as finance is concerned, is the renewal of annual membership fees, and this year we had an extra ongoing exercise that we started last year. It's the cleaning up of members' data in MyAfriNIC. Obviously, the operational activities actually start picking up as soon as when we start organizing our meetings. This is the income profile compared to the budget for 2011, 2012, and the first part of 2013. So as you can see, we have the fee revenue, which is a 2.8, which is, these are basically member fee renewal. This happens in the first month of the year. So all existing members, as at December, get invoiced early during the year. Yeah, and the collection takes place during the course of the year. Now, the difference, as you noted in on the first the table which I showed earlier on, is basically what we expect to collect in respect of new members, which is phased over the 12 months. In the first part of the year, we have achieved 76 new members compared to 144, but 76 new members. To that, we need to add 49, which is in process, which is being processed, which is going to be converted to. They've reached different levels of completion, like awaiting RSA or awaiting payments. Evaluation is already completed, and it's just a matter of converting them to members. Now, the first part of the year, the new member, based on the new members that we have reached, we have got, we have had 62% LIR and 38% of insights. So there's quite a large number of insights which is coming through as well. And during the first 6 months as well, we have sort of identified the bottlenecks that was preventing us from converting members. I think a lot of this was already discussed during when we talked about the stuff that we were doing and things that we have done to sort of speed up turnaround time for members, new members. Now, we talked about this again earlier on. This gives you a rough idea now that as at the end of mid-June, we still have $1.1 million still awaiting collection. This is a rather large number, and we are 6 months through the year, and we still got a lot to collect. And I think this has been repeatedly referred to during the course of this morning and this afternoon as well. This poses a big problem for us. It's resources intensive. We need to spend time to contact members and contact them and phone or sending reminders. And yeah, this is one of our biggest challenge that we sort of have to face and deal with. As it stands now, we've already started sending reminders, and this will be basically the priority in the coming weeks. To add to that, because if you look at the amount of outstanding, we are on the losing side. In the RSA, there is a provision where late payment penalties will be charged. This is not something that we have applied in the past, but unfortunately, we're left with no choice but to start applying. And if you put 10% on $1.15 million, it does amount to quite a large amount. So we are going to charge late payment penalties as from this year. This is the cost profile actually for the year. We've got the budgets and we've got the actuals 2013, and the last column gives you the percentage of how much of the budget that we have used. We still got, like for example, if you take the HR cost, we have, after the first 6 months, we have utilized 37 of our annual budget. And if we've got 6 months to go, we do expect to probably have some savings in there. And again, this was due to delays in recruitment and recruitment-related issues. The second part of our operating cost is distribution expenses. Again, you will see that a lot of them have not been expanded yet, and these are all the stuff that will start happening as soon, well, in the second half of the year. So this brings us to a total of, can't see it. Can you remove the clock, please? Move the clock. Please. Yeah, thank you. So what we're saying here is, as at the end of June, we have consumed, we have spent 39% of our annual budget. Our expenses profile is more or less monthly, the same, almost the same thing on every month, with the exception of a few. Like we will have a big meeting coming now, and we've got another big meeting in November. Apart from that, most of them, like staff costs, is more or less the same on a monthly basis. So if we look at this, that clearly shows that we are likely going to make a bit of a saving, as long as, of course, we make sure that we achieve our revenue target. Now, well, okay, these are exactly what I've just talked about. Overall operating cost achieved 39% of annual budget. We're going to start closely monitor the office expenses, travel and meeting expenses. And again, as I said earlier on, a midterm review will be carried out with a view of drop in membership intake, and to devise strategy to move forward and and focus on the recovery of the 2012 deficit by the end of the year. That's about it for the 2013. If you got any questions.
Thank you, Patrice. This is now the Q&A as well, please. And following the advice, and anyone in the room can ask a question. So if you have any questions, please come to the mic. Okay, thank you very much, Patrice. Did you have a question? Please come to the mic. Don't go yet. Stay.
According to your presentation, you said that when the operator doesn't pay up, you normally get away the resources and you pronounce the payments as bad debt. But I don't think that is a good idea. I felt that the operator should pay what he has used, then you withdraw the resources. That's what I think he should be able to do. It's like he should rent the IP addresses. Thank you.
Good question. Can I first find a technical response to that, please, Adil? He's telling you that don't take the entire resource, just take what he has used. So just take the portion of the IPs that are operational, not the entire block. Is that right?
Well, in fact, what's happened is that, okay, maybe.
What I mean is that since, for example, if he has used for 6 months,
So what you should do is that you should tell him that for 6 months that you have used, please, you are renting for 6 months, so please pay this much. Then you disconnect the services, then you take away all the services from him.
Okay.
But he was using it for transferring data,
Yeah.
which means data is money that you're using.
Yeah, I think it's an advice to look at. But what actually happened is that remember that we have member and we charge membership fee. So what happened is that when we start closing or reclaiming the space, it's because we are closing the member as LIR. So we are revoking their right to be member at that point, according to our RSA. So what they are paying early the year cover the whole year. So we cannot prorate that on to when we close them and make them only pay part of it because the membership is for a full year. Generally, member who we are talking about are member who exist before. There is no new member in this bad debt because new member revenue are not accounted for if they don't join the organization, if they don't pay. If they don't pay, their invoice is not accounted for. This is for member of previous year. Like, for instance, we are in June. In December, we have bill member for the whole year, for the 12 months. So even if we close them in June, the bill cover the whole year. It's the membership the whole year. We cannot now prorate the invoice and say, okay, we close you in June, so you owe us only from January to June. That will also even will not reflect an accuracy in terms of the account.
Thank you, Adiel. Do we have any more questions? Okay, members, thank you very much for your comments, and on behalf of the board, we share your worries, and we had an extensive board meeting this week, and we have actually emphasized onto Adiel and his team, and as you see, those key areas that that I put in my slide and I've brought back are going to be our key measures. I'm sure to reassure you that we as board are going to work very closely with the organization and make sure that we recover and we get back into the black. And as we said, the focus areas that we will be reporting back to yourselves are how we're managing our cash, our resource optimization, how speed our collection rate. We will be giving you our aging report. The growth is an intensive area. I think if you remember on the report by the COO in terms of the training, a lot of our growth comes from our outreach, and our outreach is really what we do with the training. We have an intensive training plan, and as you saw it on the board, but also what is going to happen again is a follow-up behind that to see the people we have trained, how many of those we can actually get into to become new members. So there's an intensive, clear plan of trying to get back to this, and I just want to, on behalf of the board and the organization, to reassure you that we are going to realign the business and get back into the black. So give us your trust in this, and on behalf of the board, I can assure you that we believe we're able to actually recover what has happened and put in the stringent measures to make sure that it doesn't happen. On that note, if we don't have any more comments, members, I would like to close this first part of the session, and we can go into a coffee break. Okay, if we don't have any comments, thank you very much, and please continue the feedback channel. Thank you very much, members. Thank you. Can we have a 15-minute coffee break? Then we'll return. So is that 10? Okay, thank you.